Coffee Conversations with Greg J is on. How are you this morning? What it do? Tuesday. Hope y'all doing okay. Walking in love out here. Love is in need of love today. That song's 1,000 years old, but it sure is relevant today, isn't it? Vibrating peace and love out here. Overcome some of this darkness. It's going down every time you turn the news on. Good grief. You know. But we're in recovery mode, right? Creative economy has been a constant conversation around here as we are advocates for the arts, all arts. I just want to give a shout out to the Arts Council for Long Beach. I'm the vice president and president-elect. It's an honor to serve with that august body. And what an education, what an exposure that I've been getting to all different types of art formats, right? It's really good. A lot of fun. Shout out to the East Village Arts District if you came through second Saturday. If you're in our area, Long Beach, California, you saw we had the Arts Village, the Dream Creator Studio Arts Village. Thank you for coming through. That was fun. We have turned out the East Village Arts District. Good stuff. You know, I got a village, you know, got folks, got friends, loved ones, you know. And our guest this morning is one such person that's in the village, you know, and she is a award-winning, accomplished producer, director. Well, I'm gonna just let her talk about it because I want to get into the meat of the matter. We're talking about the creative economy and performing arts. You know, we've seen Tony Simmons Henson from the Black Theater Festival out there in Atlanta. We've had people from New York. We've had people from San Francisco. Different, you know, aspects. Lula Washington. Different aspects of the performing arts and exploring the challenges that they may have, the triumphs that they have as we advance this thing called art and culture. Lita Gaithers-Owens is here.
Hey there. Hey there,
How are
Greg.
you?
I'm
Yay.
good. I'm good. Thank
Look,
you.
thank you for bringing some sunshine. Look, big neon electric smile you have, right? Bringing that into the studio. I need it. Look, give me more.
I got my mama and my daddy smile.
Nice. You know, shout out to one of our resident theological academics, Oscar Owens. You related to him?
I am actually. That's my husband.
You
He's
know, he
my
comes through.
wonderful husband.
Yeah, he comes through Coffee Conversations, dropping knowledge. He's making you go, you know. Well, you know, I'm really excited. I think I've read some of the reviews of your play, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, you know, several times. And I'm thinking, you know, wow, you know, this is really, really impressive. And I want to say congratulations to you as you advance arts and culture, as you bring this play to our consciousness. It's an important message, eh?
Yes, absolutely. And it is a message that we need today for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is this the same one as the movie? Somebody said, hey, that's Sidney Poitier movie.
All right. Well, it's a play now, and it's a little different. I think the playwright Todd Creedler did an excellent job at the adaptation, and people today will be able to relate to the message.
All right. So let me just think. So that was Sidney Poitier and Katharine Hepburn, if I remember.
That's correct. Spencer Tracy. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I watched the other day? Is Porgy and Bess.
Oh.
The original one.
Mm-hmm.
Sidney Poitier is he's a handicapped guy on his knees.
And
That was
and Sammy Davis Jr. Sporting
Sammy
Life,
Davis
right?
Jr., Dorothy Dandridge.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow.
that's a masterpiece.
We talk all the time around here about, Black classics and it's how important it is to preserve those, you know, those cinematic and even um, the playwright. The word is escaping me now. That those legacies that come from our culture, it's important right now to do
Mm-hmm.
that. Talk about that a little bit, Lita. I mean, you've been around, you've done some things here. Give us your perspective on how important it is to preserve our artistic legacies through plays and theater.
Well, I would say that's what interested me in getting involved in the blues show. My blues show was on Broadway in 1999, and we actually started that piece in 1995. So it took us 4 years to actually get to Broadway, and it gives a real wonderful account of the influence that Africans had on American music. And I think it's important because what happens sometimes is that Black music can become popularized, or some type of art form, Black art form can be popularized. And once it becomes popularized, it becomes mainstream. And once it becomes mainstream, what happens is that the larger culture, the dominant culture, may take it on and embrace it, and then it may turn in and evolve into something else, where Black people are not so present, the ones really continuing um, the tradition of the art form. And I've seen that in regards to blues, jazz, and even parts of rap, and so, or hip hop. And so I think it's important that as African Americans that we really continue the um, the development, the creation of our music, our plays, our spoken word, um, our films, so that we continue to tell our own stories, and 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 be mightily involved in regards to the direction that it may lead down the years. And so that's why I'm very, very, very interested in telling stories about African Americans, because there's a lot of stories out there to be told.
That's a mantra around here is we've got to tell our own stories, and we've been
Hmm.
taking that around the globe and
Hmm.
connecting with folks all over the world to, tell our stories. It's important because if we don't tell our own stories, it becomes something else. It's interesting you mentioned the jazz and the blues. I think it was last week we had the renowned jazz pianist Billy Mitchell on, and we were talking about just that, how
Hmm.
he's like talking about how he looks out across his audience and it's all
That's right.
it's not his folks.
That's
It's like,
right.
wait, we invented this music,
Hmm.
and it's very, very interesting. Blues is the same way. It's like you go to a
Hmm.
blues festival and yikes,
Yep.
where's my brothers and sisters at? This is our music,
Hmm.
and that's not to exclude anybody, right?
No,
But the thing
no.
of it is that we birthed that thing,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
so that's important. We've been examining the creative economy here with a lot of different um, aspects. We started out. I mean, we're talking about it, just because we are attached to arts and culture, but we began to link up with the Community Build organization and Albert Lord over there in Lamert Park, and because we
Hmm.
were talking about Blacks in classical music. Okay, and how do
Mhm.
we get the financial resources to sustain, African Americans in music education and classical music and thus and so. And as I
Mhm.
sit on this Arts Council for Long Beach, I see, that there are significant funds out there being directed towards the arts. And so my
Mhm.
large question becomes, are we, getting the information? Is it that we haven't done the work that is required to qualify for the funding, or is it that we don't do the work that is required? What is it?
Hmm.
What are the challenges for you, okay, as a director, and how to get resources to pull off your productions?
Well, God has been very, very, very good to me. And I've been able to partner with the Ruskin Group Theater. And we will be 2024, I believe is the target date, January 2024. We will be moving to a larger facility because Santa Monica has invested in a theater that's going to be, I believe, we're now in a theater that only holds about 55, maybe 60 seats.
Mhm.
And they have invested money into a larger facility, just a few doors down from where we are right now. And they're going to be renovating it. It's going to have a black box theater, and then it's going to have a larger theater, which I believe will seat about 150. Um, and so they've been working on this and have told us that they are going to allow us to come in and utilize that facility. So that's going to be a blessing where we'll be able to do much larger productions. And the Ruskin Group Theater has welcomed me in as a person of color to come in and practically do what my heart's desire
Mhm.
is.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I would really like to get involved in regards to the renovation of Leimert Park and their theater program, because I would like to do a partnership because I believe in partnerships. And so um, any information that I may have, I can share. And any information that they have, they can share with me. And we work together to really build a real strong um, presence in Los Angeles. That's what I'm hoping. So I really think it's about being connected, and that's how you get information. That's how you hear about certain grants and programs that are out there, monies and that's out there available.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's helpful to have a municipality that values the arts. I know out
That's
in
it.
Long Beach, the same.
Hmm.
Santa Monica, very, very, very renowned. Um, So Yvonne Farrell over there at the Vision Theater, I know you watch us every now and again. Here's my friend. We got some stuff. Here we come. Yeah, it's good to see the municipalities having this sensitivity towards the arts, and I believe that arts and culture is an essential service as city
Hmm.
governments begin to recover out of the
Yes.
pandemic. I mean, we had a total reset, right? And so governments have to figure out how to allocate funding and all of that. And I think that city support of the arts is really, really important. And you hit
Hmm.
on a really strong point there. There are others, though, Lita, that say, Black folks that say, hey, I've been fighting them, trying to get the money, and now I'm done with the system. I got to get it done any way I can.
Don't give up. Really stay in the game. Um, just continue to move forward, Dr. King would say. Continue to move forward. Don't let them get into your head where you're just, so overwhelmed that you just want to, throw in the towel. So no, no, keep it moving.
And in our community, we have such great performance venues. You mentioned the Vision Theater; they're coming up under construction. Finally, they're
Mm-hmm.
moving forward. You have the Beckman Youth Orchestra of LA up there in Inglewood, right there. That the inside is a replica of the Walt Disney Symphony Hall, so it's off the chain. You got
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
Nate Holden Performing Arts Center over there on
Right.
Washington. I mean, oh
Yep.
my goodness,
Yep. Shout
Louisville,
out to Ren
Washington.
Brown. Yes.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
so they're treasures in
Yes,
our community.
absolutely.
Mhm, mhm.
Absolutely.
So we,
Treasures.
yeah.
That's wonderful.
Mhm, mhm.
There are
Now,
treasures out there.
okay, now let's talk about your play here. So guess who's coming to dinner for all y'all new school folks. So it's about interracial relationships, at least the movie. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And in its day with Sidney Poitier, it was controversial to say the least,
To say the least. That's right.
but at the same time, like award winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
The
So what
playwright, the playwright was nominated and won Best Screenplay. Katharine Hepburn was nominated for Best Actress, and she won. Um, oh gosh, why did she slip my name? The actress that played Mary Prentice. Oh, this is horrible.
oh
Um,
oh man.
oh my.
Yes. Hold on. I'll get
Okay.
it on my phone. But go ahead.
Okay, one of our queens. Oh my gosh. But yes, everyone was nominated. But those two awards were given out through the Oscars for screenplay and for Best Actress.
It's funny you mentioned the size of the theaters over there that you're working with in Santa Monica, and I just remembered, so years ago when Fences was on Broadway,
Mm,
and I just wanted to support our brother Denzel Washington, so I
right.
took up a weekend and said, "Let me fly. I'll fly all the way to New York and go to see Fences on Broadway." And
Good
it
for
was my
you.
first Broadway experience. I
Hmm.
scraped up a little money, flew out there, and it struck me how small the theater. What is the? Is it better to?
We have wonderful work coming out of some of these small theaters, and
Yeah, I mean that's
I
the
think
best
it's
way.
yeah, and it allows the audience to really feel like they're right in it, right there in the action of it all.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah,
It's funny. Like here, they have the Mark Taper Forum, and that's kind of almost theater in the round, almost kind of.
right, right,
And,
almost.
and it's small. It's small in there, but you
Hmm.
just kind of go, if you've never been, you go expecting this ginormous, theater. But you're right. It's the best experiences are in those small theaters. What's the largest theater that you've seen a theatrical production?
Whoa. Hmm. Well, probably the operas. Um,
Mm,
when they used to do the operas at the Shrine when I was a kid growing up, and
mhm,
LAUSD used to bus children down to the Shrine to see an opera.
mhm,
I mean, it was one of my favorite outings as a child. I'm not sure if they still do that, but probably either I think the Dorothy Chandler. I think they have over 3,000 seats, but probably the Shrine was the
mhm,
largest
mhm,
facility. Hmm.
mhm. So I'm trying to look up Mary Prentice here. I can't find her. Who was that?
I can't believe that. Can't. Yeah,
Well, there it is. Okay. Now, how long has your production been up?
we opened June 6th,
Mm,
and we have now received the news that we're going to be extended through August 21st. There will be
mhm,
some dark days in between there, but that will be our last weekend.
mhm,
And we are hoping to be able to move to a larger facility. So that's in the works, and possibly on to bigger and better things.
mhm. What's the response to the play and the subject matter? I mean, it's a profound subject in the story. And in these days and time, I'm sure it has a different twist because, generations have changed and, people's
Hmm.
perspectives have changed a lot. But yet that is still a very, very relevant story. What is some of the reactions that you've heard?
We have gotten just such wonderful feedback from the white community as well as the Black community. And that was a concern because the film, when it came out, it was largely criticized by the
Mhm.
Black community. In fact, James Baldwin was very verbal about his opinion. If you take a look at the documentary "I'm Not Your Negro," and
Mhm.
I think it's on Netflix about
Mhm.
James Baldwin. It's mentioned in that documentary, um, and so I was concerned as a director the importance of um, of African Americans feeling very good about this play.
Mhm.
And so I made certain choices that I think if James Baldwin was alive today, he would be happy about. So without giving away too much, I do um, want to say that if you come to see it, um, I think it really does. Uh, give a side or a point of view in regards to um, um, the struggles
Mhm.
that African Americans have here in this country, and it's I think addressed well and appropriately.
Let me ask you, how do you choose your productions? Like, how did you cut, and then how did you come across this one? And you said, okay, yes, I'm going to put this one on.
Well, when John Ruskin came to me and asked to do another play, I always do my research.
Hmm.
And so I wanted to do something that I knew that would create discussion because that's what I love. I love how art creates discussion,
Mhm.
and so I actually brought two pieces to them. I brought Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and I also brought Norman, Is That You? Do you remember that?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And
Wow.
that was at, remember, the Ebony Showcase. Remember, that was a
Yes.
jewel, which is now, the Ebony Repertory Theater
Mhm.
um, out of the Nate Houghton. So after John and I spoke, and Michael Myers, the producer, the managing producer, after we spoke, we decided to go with Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. And I'm so glad we made that choice um, because it does look like I feel like I am a part of something bigger than myself
Mhm.
in regards to this piece. And like I said earlier, it couldn't have come at a time more timely than this. Our country needs to have these conversations in regards to state rights, women reproduction rights, just basically what is America and the American dream. And I think this play addresses it.
We're all asking ourselves that now at a
Hmm.
really important strategic inflection point, I think,
Hmm.
in the country. Everybody this COVID and the social justice issues that we've seen in recent years and everything has got
Hmm.
everybody re-examining who
Hmm.
we are in America. What is it to be an American?
Hmm.
Mm.
Yes. Yes.
It's coming out through our art. That's fantastic. All right,
Yes.
talk about the artistes that are involved here. Are who's the star and where'd you find them? How'd that work?
Well, Vincent Washington plays the Sidney Poitier character, Dr. John Prentice, and he is amazing.
Mhm.
He is a veteran. He was in the Air Force, and all of his training comes out in that character. He's polite. He's intelligent. He's good looking. When I saw him, he's a student at the Ruskin Group Theater School. And when they showed me his video, because COVID kind of keeps us from having really all of these in-person auditions, and so they sent me a clip with him doing a reading. I was just blown away. I literally knew in 5 seconds that was our Dr. John Prentice, and he has not let me down one bit. And then we have the wonderful Vicki Lynn Reynolds, who plays the housekeeper. She is hilarious. And then we have Brad Greenquist, who is our Mr. Drayton, Matt Drayton, and we have Lee Garlington, who is our Christina Drayton, and then we have the fabulous Ren Woods. I'm sure you remember Ren Woods from the film Hair and Jumping Jack Flash, and she does, and I wish I could remember our Black queen from the film who played Mary Prentice, because she
Dr. Owens has it there. Isabel Sanford.
Isabel Sanford played the housekeeper. That's what Vicki Lynn Reynolds, the character Vicki Lynn Reynolds is playing. But oh gosh, but the wonderful actress that plays Mary Prentice in the film would be just so happy to see Ren on stage doing that role.
Is that how? Okay, so what is this? Oscar Owens, Bo Richards is the
Yes,
name.
B. Richards. Yes, B. Richards. Yes, that's her.
Oh, it's on the case.
Yes. Ren does a beautiful job in that role, and Bea Richards is smiling, I'm sure. Yeah, just wonderful. And then we have Paul. Oh gosh, I can't think of Paul's last name. He's our wonderful Monsignor, and we have Michette. And Michette has this long French name. I know I will just butcher it if I try to say it. But she's our wonderful Hillary. And I think I mentioned everyone. But we have a fantastic cast. Couldn't be more. Oh, no. And we have Mary Pumper. She's our wonderful fiance, Joanna. Yes. Wonderful actress. And so, yes, everyone is absolutely amazing. And we have the incredible Nicole Millar as our stage manager, production manager, and Hamilton, who's working with us. We just have an amazing cast and crew. So I couldn't be more just so pleased.
What's the greatest play of all time for you?
Oh, wow. The greatest play of all time.
Like if you were to go see it, no matter when it comes out, whatever production company,
Right.
that's your play.
I'm there. Yeah. That's really a hard one, Greg. Wow. I would probably say Hamlet.
To be or not to be.
Yeah.
Is that the one? That's the one. No, that was Othello. He did the movie, Denzel Washington.
That's on Apple right now.
Yes. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, so I wrote a letter slash op-ed
Mm-hmm.
about a play that was being put on by the International City Theater here in Long Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And while I appreciate that company for presenting a good amount of African American themed plays, I also felt that these plays depicted, hypersexualized women,
Hmm.
no good, lazy black men. I mean, they were perpetuating stereotypes. That was my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. But when
Mm-hmm.
I did my research, these plays were written by black folks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, wait, what's going on here? There
Mm-hmm.
was one play, the blues. I can't. It was about the blues, and I can't remember the name of it. By
Mm-hmm.
Sheldon up there in Pasadena.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Um, it disturbed me, and quite honestly, I went uh, to the opening, and I was there, and I was a guest of the ICT, and quite honestly, I left out of the theater quite angry. I just
Mm.
didn't like it. I felt
Mm-hmm.
like it was a sociological stereotype. I'm
Mm-hmm.
overhearing the comments by the white folks like they were loving it. They love
Hmm.
seeing this, but it just was whack to me. And so
Hmm.
I wrote an op-ed about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was asking my good friend Tony Simmons Henson, who is the head of the Black Theater Festival in Atlanta, Black Atlanta Theater Festival, and we
Mm-hmm.
were chatting about this, and she says, "Well, I mean, we write what we write, we put on what we put on," and then we began to talk about the Tony Award winning. Oh no, they didn't win any Tonys. A slave play, similar in all the press. It was on Broadway, sold out audiences. It was a big hit on Broadway. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
win. Maybe it won one Tony, but similarly, people were saying it just was stereotypical. It was a story that, you know, it was just weird, for black folks.
Hmm.
What do you think about these types of plays? Why do we write about black pain, and then why do we write into the stereotypes of black people?
Well, I have to be honest. I have not seen the slave story. I think it's called, and I have not seen Blues for Alabama Sky. I think that's the play you're talking about. But I can say this: um, there are some black artists that come from a particular tradition, and we're not monolithic, so we have a spectrum. And so you may have black people on the left who are into um, portraying actors in a stereotypical type of way. And on the right of the spectrum, you may have um, directors, writers, producers who want to show African Americans, um, upper middle class, doctors, lawyers, presidents, CEOs, and they want to see them portrayed in a certain way. And then you may have all that's in between. And what I love about the arts is that it allows us to do all of that.
Mhm.
And it allows us to write op-eds about it. And it allows us to write articles and books about it and get us all talking and thinking and keeping this conversation going. And I think it is all about um, really having the ability to present it all. See what has happened through, um, the earlier times is that we only were able to get a certain type, and was usually the ones that were stereotypical. Um, the Step and Fetch It, the Roscoe, those type of characters in the early days. But now I think we're at a point where now we have this wonderful opportunity to tell our stories. We have so many cable outlets now. We have YouTube, we have this, we have Netflix, we have so many streaming channels now, and also Broadway is really opening up and being very welcoming to people of color in regards to telling their stories and bringing in directors and playwrights and actors to the table. So I think this is a good time, and I think it's I don't want to see any artist that feels that their voice is going to be censored. I think that's what art is all about. It's about expression of oneself, and put it out there so that we can talk about it and see how it affects our society, and let it live.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I guess what was the ignition point for my ire in this situation was that the audience was like, what goes back to what we were saying early on, the audience was predominantly, white audience. And, here you go again, this might be the only essence of how they see Black men and Black women. And they were singing the praises of oh my God, that was so wonderful. Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, and the singing, and it was like, what?
But see, the thing is that, there are other plays out there that really will give a different side to that. So it's not like the only thing they have to really to have some window into what the African American experience is like.
When I ask you, I've been watching The Offer on Showtime, right? This is a mini series depicting how they made The Godfather, the movie. And Francis Ford, if you get an opportunity, you should see it. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
We didn't know the challenges that they had making this movie. It was really, I didn't know the mafia was so involved in the, in the film, like the real mafia. It was pretty deep. But, what I like about it is the person who plays Francis Ford Coppola, they really illustrate, his attention to detail as he goes about directing the film and all of the little nuances he needed to have happen in order to bring, the reality to the different scenes and everything. What's your style? Are you that meticulous in setting up your scenes and what your vision is?
I have to be honest, Greg. I pray a lot, and I really ask God to give me insight in regards to every project. And so, yes, I do feel like I am very meticulous and particular, and because what I'm doing, I'm really creating pictures.
Yes.
And so I want to make sure that, the flowers are at a good place, and the lighting is in a good place, and it's shining down in a particular area, and the couch is a good color, and the dress is the shoes are right. So all of that.
Yeah, because it just seems like, okay, this person is visualizing in 3D, really seeing the scene and feeling it, down to their core. Okay, all right. Now, how long does it take you to really prepare for the play where you're saying, okay, we're ready to go?
I take a month. I take a month to prepare. I go through the script, I break it down. I make a decision in regards to what scenes I want to start working on first. I have some idea in regards to what the stage is going to be because I have to give that to the set designer. So yeah, I give myself at least a month.
All right, that's awesome. You know, they're really, really, really awesome. What are some of your? Who are some of your favorite? You know, African American directors. This is a space I feel like we don't really get an opportunity in the main to lift up our, African American directors. You go sometimes you watch the Tonys or the Oscars or even the Grammys, and you see the awards where they're like, okay, best director or best set designer, best sound person, and it'll be a brother or sister. You're like, wait, I never heard of them. They need to be lifted up. Who are
Mm-hmm.
some of the names across the country that you would like to lift up and say, hey, these guys are Hall of Famers?
Right. Well, Kenny Leon is actually, truly the man. And I love the work of Sheldon Epps as well. But I have to say, the person that really inspired me was Vinette Carroll. Your Arms Are Too Short with God. Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope. And so, yeah, and Felicia Rashad also is a wonderful director. So, yeah, I have some great admiration for those people that I just mentioned.
People don't know Claire Huxtable got skills now.
That's right. That's right. That's
She's
right.
down there at that Mark Taper Forum,
That's right.
man.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
This is a good question to ask you. Explain August Wilson.
Oh no. Now Todd could do that because Todd is actually his protege, the playwright of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Now that's the conversation you really should have. But I couldn't explain. Oh no. I wouldn't even try.
You know what I mean? Because he's got so many plays, and
Yes.
every one of them are
Yes.
iconic.
Yes, because he has been able to really tap into some real Black experiences, and he's been able to put it down on paper, and then get a wonderful director to direct it. So, oh yeah, the mind of August Wilson. Oh my gosh, yeah. I was Todd Creedler would be the one to
All
ask
right,
that.
we're gonna have to make that one happen because
Yeah, yeah,
we're gonna dig deeper there.
yeah.
Let's turn our lens to a global perspective. I mean, we're all about building bridges of music, arts, and culture with Africa and African Americans. And I mentioned Tony Simmons Henson, and I don't know if you know her or not. I would
I
love
do.
to connect you all. Good
Please.
sister, good sister.
Hmm.
She's out of Atlanta. She's the head of the Black Atlanta Theater Festival.
I would
We
love
were
that.
over in Ghana. We happened to be there at the same time, and we were able
Mm,
to interact with the National Theater of Ghana. And there's some things
wow.
that are going to happen in the coming year in that space. Just having this exchange with our brothers and
Hmm.
sisters over on the
Hmm.
continent.
Yes, yes.
How would you approach a global exchange, a Pan African exchange in the area of theater?
Well, I was so fortunate to um, visit South Africa. Let's see, gosh, was it maybe it was 2019, 2018. I was there with Eloise Laws and Ronnie Laws promoting the documentary um, um, on John Coltrane, and we were able to have a wonderful exchange with the musicians, jazz musicians there in South Africa. And we had 3 events, I believe. And we were right on the Blue Train. It's a very popular transit, the Blue Train, where we performed. Actually, I was so blessed to perform for the president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, I believe his name is,
Cyril
and
Ramaphosa.
and and the artists who wrote some of the songs for the animated film, the Disney film, about the Lion King.
Lion King.
The South African songwriter who had songs in that musical was also part of this event. And so we were able to get together and talk and, share ideas and music. And it was a great experience. And I think something in regards to theater could definitely happen, where we can share ideas and expertise and our stories. I think that would be absolutely a fantastic thing to do. So,
Wow, you're on the blue train. That's
yes.
high cotton, as my mom used to say.
That's right. Gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's yeah, because it is important, right, that we extend our arts. I think that now in these days and time, this what's being told to us is that we must connect with our roots from a Pan-African perspective in every area. I mean, business, arts, culture, the whole way, man. It's just like really got to happen. Wow, that's really exciting. Ronnie Laws and Eloise Laws. Man, I didn't know, Lita.
Well, I sing too, Greg.
Now that I know. Oh man, that's great. Great stuff. What's the blessed hope? What's the home run? What are you asking the Lord, the Most High, to just really, what's the dream?
Well, Greg, it's coming. I wish I could share it with you. But I should know. I'm thinking probably by the end of this month, the next level for this piece, it's going to knock the world off of its rockers.
Love it.
And so that's what I'm asking the Most High for. And I it's in the works, and I'm just waiting for the green light. So, and I will definitely let you know.
All right, well, we agree on this one. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Amen.
All right, so now to the youth. We have been talking a lot about, again, the creative economy, and there's always an aspect of the discussion that points to, education. We've been concentrating on music a lot, and we know that music departments have been removed from schools, and there's a lot of community organizations who have stepped in the gap to try to make sure that young musicians get access and education to these higher levels of music experience, classical, jazz, thus and so. In the performing arts, how do we connect with the young people? What do you see out there in our school systems?
Well, unfortunately, just like how you said, it's not so much in the public schools like it used to be. And I'm hoping that our churches will step up and start. Well, I'll say this. When I was growing up, that was what was so wonderful about the Black church that I attended. It was Second Baptist Church of Los Angeles. And they had such a wonderful, yes. And they had such a wonderful arts program for children, where if you wanted to learn about music, you could take piano lessons, you could sing. If there was some type of production that was always going on for the kids to be either singing or dancing or acting in. So I'm hoping, because the public schools are not funded, that some of the churches will take up the slack and really starting appreciating what the arts can do in regards to confidence. I also believe it helps children to focus better in regards to all of these things out there to distract them, the phones, the social media, and all of that. I think when you're able to be able to learn a script and memorize it, it helps you to better focus. It helps you to be able to stand in front of an audience and give a nice speech. It'll help you in the boardroom. It'll help you in the classroom. It'll help you to be a better coach. The arts really just prepares children for the future if they're going to be our leaders.
I agree with that. And that would be interesting. I mean, I've never thought about performing arts. Wow, that would be good. Just have the churches step in and, yes,
Offer classes.
offer classes. Wow. Okay, yeah, let's get it. After school programs and
That's
everything.
right.
I remember doing the whiz at Kennedy Elementary School. I actually, when I first came out of the military, my first job, I was custodian, San Diego Unified School District, and they had an after school program and they were doing the whiz. And because I had an interest I was on the path to be an engineer. So I went in and I was able to help them with sound and production and everything like that. And it was an outstanding production for the young people.
I
I
believe
remember
it.
we had junior theater back in the day, those types of programs. These are the types of things that bring wholesomeness to our
Yes.
communities.
Yes.
All right. What's your favorite music right now? What you're listening to?
I am listening to old stuff. I was just listening to, and I'm the type of person who will binge. So I spent the other day listening to all of Al Jarreau. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Jill Scott. Love Diane Reeves. Yeah, so.
Do you know Diane Reeves' song, I Want to Testify?
I haven't heard that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Just
I'll
Google
listen
that
to
one.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then holler back.
Okay.
That's a good
I
one.
will.
Yeah.
I will.
That's so. Okay. So now you call me up later and you say, hey, we're going off to Broadway. What are we going to see?
You're going to see August Wilson's the piano lesson, because Samuel L. Jackson and LaTanya Richardson are doing that, and they open in September.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's what we're going to see.
Good stuff. All right. It's so wonderful. Now, as you come to sip coffee with
Oh,
us. Coffee.
and just so you know, LaTanya Richardson Jackson is directing that.
I was going to ask you. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I did read that. Okay.
Yes, she's the first Black woman to ever direct an August Wilson play on Broadway.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. For the novice out there, why is Broadway so important? What makes Broadway the superstar spot?
Because it is. It's like because we have wonderful theaters, just like the one I'm working out of right now. And then we have what we call regional theaters. And mine would be called a regional theater, but there's a like I said, there's a spectrum of regional theaters. And so you may have a regional theater that's like mine, where it has less than 100 seats. And then there's a regional theater that may have something like 800 seats. And so they're all across the country. And then you have, after regional theaters, then you have Broadway. And so it's like community theater, regional theater, Broadway, community theater, regional theater, Broadway.
Mhm.
And so as you move up, you can really see the quality in regards to the production at its best.
Mhm.
And when you get to the level of Broadway, you're actually seeing the very best possible production
Mhm.
for the piece.
Now we're in recovery, and productions are back, and
Hmm.
we went through a long period of theaters being dark, a lot of people out of work. I know that at the Arts Council for Long Beach, we've been about the work of artist relief, because people were out of jobs and everything like that. And so, what are some of the success stories that you've seen in your area where people, actors weren't able to act, and theaters were closed, and all of this here? What is it that the success stories that you may have seen in this COVID environment?
Well, I would say we're still here.
Hmm.
The Ebony Rep is still here. The Ruskin Group Theater is still here, and there are others that are still here, and that is just really success on its own, because there were so many businesses that had to close because of the pandemic, and they weren't able to recover. And um, and and now, because if you're going to provide um, a quality production, you're going to need quality actors. And so you're going to need to be able to pay your actors. And so we have union actors who are in the Union Actors Equity Association. And so they're being paid. And we had to find the dollars to be able to do that. And other theaters, they have to do the same. And that can be difficult, especially during this time of recovery. So still being here is a success story.
Any last words you want to share with the people? What do you want?
Support us, support us, support us.
Give us that website. How do we get to who's coming to dinner?
Um, you
We
can,
put that in the chat.
yeah, please go to the website, Ruskin Group Theater, or the Facebook site, the Ruskin Group Theater. There's a link that will take you where you can purchase tickets. Please support us. We've been having sellout crowds. We've been very, very fortunate. But even just not my show, but go see another support. Just support theater, because we just truly, truly need it.
So is that RuskinGroupTheater.com?
Yes,
Okay.
RuskinGroupTheater.com.
We're putting that in the chat. You see, guess who's coming to dinner? A theatrical production. I'm looking forward to it. This is
Thank you,
awesome.
Greg. Yes, you're coming to see the show. Yes.
Yay! So good stuff. Good stuff, you guys. Man, Lita Gaithers-Owens, renowned director, what a producer, singer, all around good sister with
Thank
the
you.
electric.
Thank you. Thank
And
you so much, Greg.
thank you for holding up and having the back of one of the greatest theologians that I know.
He's the
I
bomb.
mean, he is the bomb. And thank you for what you do for having that man's back right there.
Amen.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
Oscar's truly a gem.
yes, he is. That's right. Love it. All right, y'all. You can get this on Coffee Conversations with Greg J. That's the Facebook page, Beach City Perspective, beachcityradio.com. Plus, we're repurposing the audio for podcast listening, wherever you get your favorite podcasts: Spotify, Spreaker, Google, iHeart, Apple. Just punch it in, Coffee Conversations with Greg J., and you'll be on. All right, y'all. Love one another. Love one another.
Amen.
Love one another. Peace and blessings.